Chapter 2. Ojinan's voice was very good, but it was not at the level of Huren Yimengshu's heavenly voice. But after Zhou Sheng's adjustment, his throat became a veritable golden throat. He could reach as low as G7, as high as C3. Even singing across 5 octaves was easy for him. Ojinan was 20 this year. His voice was already fully developed. It was a clear timbre mixed in with a trace of huskiness, singing love songs with a little vistitude, singing rock brimming with passion, singing jazz with simple eroticism. As long as he got an opportunity, he would become an overnight celebrity. What Zhou Sheng lacked right now was such an opportunity. Time Records was one of the top entertainment companies in Sea Country. They specialized in the music making and had 3 music kings and queen ranked persons under their umbrella. And Shu, by virtue of Because of You, was freshly promoted to the music queen throne, becoming the company's 4th cash cow. In order to protect Lin Qiqing and Shu, Time Records gave an ultimatum to Ojinan, and because Ojibai had a very strong character, he'd secretly offended quite a lot of people, so no one offered to help Ojinan out of the desperate situation. What should I do? Zhu Sheng stroked his jaw, then decided to play a fierce game with Lin Qiqing. Lin Qiqing was just an overly compassionate male supporting role. He doesn't even end up with Shu. Instead, the young boss of Time's Record, Yun Xiyuan, benefited. For this type of woman, he destroyed his younger brother. I wonder if he had any regrets. The original Jinan didn't live long enough to see the ending. Now, Zhu Yunsheng must personally witness Lin Qiqing's regretful expression. Thinking of this, Zhu Yunsheng turned on his computer and checked the status of Ojinan's estate. Ojibai was a rich man, but he was also a philanthropist. He donated far more money to charity than his own income, so he had only left Ojinan 50 million in cash and a villa. The studio was left to Lin Qiqing, hoping that he could take good care of his son. If he was an ordinary person, 50 million could give him a comfortable life. But for the troubled Zhou Yunsheng, it was merely a drop in the bucket to fight against Time's Record and the music god Lin Qiqing. He must find himself a powerful enough partner. Who to choose? Clicking across the keyboard, he selected Huanya Entertainment News Group, which was also a giant in Sea Country's entertainment industry. This company only had one music god-level singer, but they had many movie kings and queens. Their main industry was film and television, and their capital was even more solid than Time's Records. Moreover, the boss behind it was Sun Qimyu, and just his name alone was worth more than Time's Records signboard. Sun Qimyu was the founder of the Hongliang Fund. Through the Hongliang Fund, he'd once sniped air currency, triggered the Asia financial crisis. He also once distributed the West's stock and future market, wantonly plundering wealth from the Western nations. Saying he had riches equivalent to an entire nation was no exaggeration. Exaggeration? Hunya Entertainment News was simply the product of his boredom, yet in Sea Country's entertainment industry, it had an unshakable position. If Zhou Yunsheng wanted to get out of his predicament, he currently could only beg help from Hunya Entertainment News. So, how could he convince them? First, he needed to come up with evidence, and secondly, he needed to provide works. Evidence proving Ojinan's innocence had all been taken away and destroyed by Lin Qiqing, and for a singer-songwriter, creating a sufficient number of high-quality songs in a month was as difficult as ascending the heaven. But Zhou Yunsheng wasn't an average person. If there was no evidence, he could forge it. If there were no songs, he could search 007's database and casually come up with thousands or even tens of thousands heirloom compositions. Don't even try to tell him that copying others' work is wrong, a shameless action. When you need to escape a trap, what is shame? Just gobble that up. Zhou Yunsheng's skin was already thicker than a titanium alloy steel plate. He immediately opened 007's song database, picking and choosing from it. The family was a music family. The villa's basement was soundproof. It was stuffed with a variety of musical instruments and a small recording studio. In addition, Zhou Yunsheng had many advanced orchestration softwares. After modifying and filling things in by himself, he unexpectedly recorded 10 songs within 10 days and stored them on a disc. Rubbing his sore eyes, he drifted back to his bedroom like a ghost. He slept until noon the next day. He'd already hacked into Sun Qimu's itinerary and knew that the man would go to Hunya Entertainment News Group at 4 o'clock this afternoon for inspection. This was his best chance to discuss cooperation. The CD was done. What about the evidence? Zhou Yunsheng scratched his head. He realized that he was so busy recording the songs that he'd forgotten to forge evidence. He immediately probed his mental voice into 007's central administration system and sketched a music composition scene in his mind. The scene was processed into a video file by 007. Even the top hacker in the world wouldn't be able to tell it was a fake. After doing all this, he put on a white shirt and jeans, casually combed his hair back and drove out the underground parking lot, waiting until 3:59 p.m. With 1 minute to spare, a series of black cars slowly pulled into the lot. Sun Qimu was really like the rumors, disciplined, never wasting a second. Several bodyguards quickly crowded around. One pulled open the door, and the others placed their hands near their jacket pockets, looking alert. If there was the slightest sign of trouble, without a doubt, they would certainly pull out their guns and shoot any rashly appearing person into a sieve. Such spectacle was not excessive for Sun Qimu, who'd personally led many people and even several nations to bankruptcy. A lot of people loved him, but even more people hated him, numerous like the stars. The shadowed man slowly advanced. His calm footsteps reverberated in the narrow space, like a beating heart. He was very tall, at least 190 centimeters. His back was very straight, and his well-built physique was wrapped in a pure black custom-fitted suit. Every step revealed the outlines of his extreme explosive legs. Walking between the shining lights, his deep and handsome facial features were finally revealed. He had thick, black, sword-like eyebrows and a pair of long, narrow phoenix eyes underneath. A casual glance from him could freeze people in fear. There were rumors that Sun Qimu was an emotionless robot. If it looked like they weren't groundless. Zhou Yunsheng stared at the gradually approaching man, his heart tangled. How can I talk to him? Rushing out would be a surefire way to fill his own body with bullet holes. This price was too high to pay. He let out a breath, then slowly, carefully opened his car window. He slowly got out of his car and slowly raised his hands, facing Sun Qimu with an I surrender gesture. Chief Sun, I'm Ojinan. I wanted to talk to you. His clear voice was like gurgling spring passing through a forest, but also like raindrops falling from slightly trembling lotus leaves, breathing a touch of coolness into the hot summer day. Sun Qimu didn't stop walking, but he turned his head to look over. The bodyguard saw that the other man looked unarmed and unimposing, and was also raising his hands to show his harmlessness. So they put down their hands that were already reaching for their gun handles. Zhou Yunsheng quickly seized the opportunity to say, Chief Sun, I'm the real composer of Because of You. Lin Yiqing is the one who plagiarized. I have evidence to prove it. As long as you help me out this once, I'm willing to work for you for 3 years free of charge. Xun Qimu didn't trouble himself with entertainment gossip, so he didn't know what he was talking about. He turned his head away and continued moving forward, apparently uninterested in helping. Zhu Yunsheng got anxious. He ran to his side, staring over pitifully, with tear-filled peach blossom eyes, sobbing out, Chief Sun, I'm at my wit's end. Hunya Entertainment News is my only way out. I really am very valuable. Please believe me. Within 3 years, I swear to help you earn 300 million. 300 million sounded like a lot, but for Sun Qimu it really was nothing. But he still stopped his pace and looked straight at the young man. Zhou Yunsheng immediately blinked, squeezing out a few more crystal-like tears. Ozinan's looks were very outstanding, not sun-bright and dazzling like Zhu Xiyu, but clear and gentle like moonlight. His skin was very white, almost morbidly so, and his lips were closed to flesh pink, making him look extremely frail, unable to survive one fall. But his eyes were dark and clear. When they were filled with glistening tears, they would simply break hearts. This melancholy, fragile, confused and helpless appearance was naturally attractive and lethal. In Zhou Yunsheng's hands, who could work the original strengths to their limits, it was a powerful tool to win sympathy. Sun Qimu was subdued by his glistening tears and hopeful, longing expression. For the first time ever, he wasted some time. Follow me up to talk. He dropped this sentence and continued forward. Zhou Yunsheng was overjoyed. While wiping away his tears, he stumbled along. When entering the elevator, due to the many people crowded together, he seemed to be a little shy or afraid of strangers. The courage to risk everything had long disappeared, and he huddled close to the wall, head hanging low. Only his cute hair whirl was visible. The elevator stopped at the top floor. Waiting at the door was an assistant who had long ago prepared data and Ojinan, handing it over. Sun Ximu took the file and gave it a quick look. When he noticed a young man helplessly standing in place, he said in a deep voice, Sit down. Zhou Yunsheng sat down, but because of his tension, his pale cheeks were flushed, and his hands continuously tugged at the hem of his clothes, like a child who was confronting the head of discipline. Sun Ximu quickly glanced at him, then tossed a pair of double-edged cigar cutters and a cigar on the table, asking, Can you help me cut it? Zhou Yunsheng's eyes widened slightly. Then he looked over probingly. This person couldn't be his lover, who doesn't even have a fixed name, right? Just by looking at the height, looks, and hobbies, the possibility was already 70–80%. Heart speeding up a bit, he picked up the cigar and cigar cutter, nodding, I can. This pyramid-shaped cigar only needs to be cut 0.25 inches from the cap. The cut must be very swift, preferably with one nimble cut, not multiple cuts. Otherwise, the cigar wrapper will get damaged and the tobacco inside will fall out. After you cut, you must use your fingers to brush off any loose tobacco fragments, and it's best to suck on it a bit to see if the path is smooth. Zhou Yunsheng used to hate the smell of smoke, but now he was used to it. He talked as he moved, but because he was too focused, he actually brought the unlit cigar to his mouth and sucked to see if the duct was unobstructed. Soon Simu's eyes darkened, staring at her thin, flesh-pink lips. Julian Sheng also stared blankly, inwardly cursing his own misbehaving hands.